We're making indie anime in Blender. Don't forget to like and subscribe and support this project on Patreon. Let's go. So this week there was a bit of a discussion about the budget of Invincible versus the budget of Jujutsu Kaisen and the disparity in animation between the two of them. And I think that there's a lot that goes into this. Obviously, we're not going to be able to cover in 3 minutes, but the thing I want to focus on is the idea of cutting corners and how domestic animation, or in my case, domestic animation, Western United States animation versus Japanese animation kind of evolved. So you have the Western animation industry kind of evolved from this more like Disney-centric model, right? And we're sort of catching up to Japan now in ways like adopting production techniques, but Japan evolved very differently in the sense they were inspired by Disney animation, but then they had to develop their own techniques to work within the constraints. And so they, I think, developed a lot of techniques to cut corners, right? And so a lot of what you see in terms of like Japanese animation and the stylistic choices they make and the direction choices they make, it largely comes out of the origins in limiting what they could do with the medium, right? Whereas, in the case of the Western animation, people tend to be more ambitious generally with the movement, but you get a sort of sense that with Japanese animation, because they were so limited, they had to, choose more impactful camera angles. They had to, prioritize movement only on shots that they could get like their hot key animators. And so you have this sort of system that evolves where they're essentially like locking everything down and sort of micromanaging every part of the pipeline, but also giving the artists an extreme amount of control. Whereas in Western animation, especially nowadays, there are a variety of factors, but one of them is like maybe the writer is a TV writer and doesn't understand like when they write some sort of crazy fight scene, what that's going to do or how that's going to affect the animation team, or maybe they'll write something like the character walks across the screen, and it's like I'm sitting here watching so many times characters walk across screen in Western animation, going, did we really need to see this guy? Like, can we just like have the end of the part where he hits his mark and maybe have an interesting camera angle on that to show or evoke a feeling? So it's sort of that the different dynamics and how the two production systems evolved. I think that's really that people are really responding to. In the end, I think Western animation in general is catching up and adopting a lot of Japanese anime techniques. And with the advent of indie animation, I think that we're in for a real treat when it comes to the future.
ありません。フォトンも任務から戻って以来、行方が不明で。